Can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Alrighty. So as you know, the name of our company is Quantum Lifestyle, and we're based right here in West Virginia. I'm the creator of the product. Actually, John Schaefer, who's on here, and you'll hear from him in a little bit. He and I developed the first three products about 20 years ago. And over the years, we've private labeled. John and I both worked together, private labeling to some other companies and so forth. And then we sort of split off, and I just kept on going. And John works with his athletes, which you're going to hear a lot about John here in a little bit. But the products are manufactured here in West Virginia. So you have a home-based USA company with the creator of the product living right here, talking to you right now. And also they're manufactured right here. So we don't have to worry about any type of supply problems. Our products are unique products, and they're based on quantum physics. And we'll tell you a little bit about that in just a few minutes. But we market them as what we call a do-it-yourself acupressure kit. And the reason is that acupressure is a key component of what we sell. Our products are available exclusively through Quantum Lifestyle Associates, affiliates. And I want to stress that because to let you know, in the past, yes, I private labeled to other companies, but now I only private label to you, to Quantum Lifestyle. So there's no one else selling this product. Or I don't think there's anybody on the planet doing it the way we do it. We have what we call a complete personalized wellness solution. We have a book that John Schaefer has written explaining how the product works with acupressure, and you get a free book. Everybody that signs up gets a free book. So you're in business for yourself, but you're not in business by yourself. You have all these friendly people here to help you, with their stories and that type of thing, on our calls. To give you an idea of our administrative team, I've got over 30 years experience in network marketing. I've been a distributor, a product developer. I've owned another company before. I also have many other businesses. I've had, a manufacturing company, which I still have. I have another company. I've had a graphics company. I mean, I'm one of these guys that I'm like a serial entrepreneur, and I love just developing products. And some of my products have been featured in on MSNBC. So, as seen on TV, which is me. And we've been in prestigious print media. I've had products in Vogue magazine, GQ, Elle Girl, Chicago, all kinds of magazines with some of my other products. But I've never had a job. I've always been a developer of products, businesses. I owned a real estate company for 11 years. So I've just been one of these people that is fascinated by making people happy with the products that I develop. So we have another guy on the line here, which is a guy by the name of Brian McDougall, and I didn't get his new picture put in here, so I'll hear about that afterwards. But Brian, Brian, he is a different kind of guy. He has great network marketing experience. He's been a top trainer, consultant. He's worked with global companies. He has patents. He's former business was in the radio telecommunications, that type of thing. So he's real familiar with EMFs, and he's experienced some very strong EMFs in his past. And he is a great person to have to help you. He'll do whatever he can to help you build your business, and he always matches his effort with you with what effort you put in. He's not one to try to, as he says, drag people across the finish line. So, but Brian really is in your corner. He's sort of like the advocate for all the distributors of the company. He's our master distributor. And then we have another guy by the name of Mark Kane. And Mark is not normally on our calls. He's the backgrounds guy. He takes care of our computer system. And right now, we work with a very large computer system company out of Florida. They do tons of MLM companies. But we weren't totally happy with some of the service that we had there. So we're moving over to another company. And so Mark's been busy in the background working with our database and, getting everything lined up. And that's been a job um, just because the database requirements of the new company don't match what the database is presented from the old company. And now Mark, I've known for about 30 years, and I've had, for my web hosting company, I have servers up in Michigan and that kind of thing. And so Mark and I have built little scripts for MLM, and he was, well, it says right here, he launched his first the first commercial software for Amway distributors back in the early 90s. So he's one of these self-made kind of guys, with technology, and he is definitely a genius. I can tell you that. There's no problem that he hasn't been able to solve. So he's a great guy to have the team. So we have him. He gives me confidence that no matter what will happen, we're going to survive in that end. And then we have John Schaefer on the call here, and John is another buddy from like 20 years ago, maybe a little bit before that. John, and what happened is about 20 years ago, I purchased a company that had holograms. And guess who was in that company? It was John Schaefer and also Brian. But I knew Brian a little before that company. But John is the best part of that purchase. We've become really good friends. We've put our heads together. We've developed the products together. And John is, he's been a powerlifting, kickboxing champion. He's an Olympic coach of famous people like Apollo Ono, who uses our product, who worked with John. John went and lived with him, I think, for 6 weeks, for the Olympics and stuff. And Apollo only ate what John made for him. And I believe John even programmed Apollo's underwear. I'm not sure, but he can he can tell you about that. But Apollo got a whole bunch of medals, and a lot of it, I think that, I feel like we were part of it. And so I'll have John tell you a little bit about his background as we go on here in the meeting. But John, he works with Olympians. I don't know how many Olympians. He can tell you how many he has that he's worked with over the years, and NFL players, movie stars, all kinds of things. When you hear John's history, it blows me away every time I talk to him. It's like, whoa, Navy SEAL team, this and that. There's all kinds of different things, and things he can't tell you about. But it's the associations that he has are enormous. And John wrote the book. It's a 193-page book that has to do with where to put our products on your body with in acupressure points. And our mission, I keep refining it, but this is what we have right now. But it's basically I just want to get everybody in the world taught how to take care of themselves. And so that comes from education, and the education comes from our Zoom calls, part of it, because, there are so many different things, like Scott has told me a little bit about his back and stuff. And, well, we got to figure out, okay, how can we help him and solve that situation? You learn those things on our Zoom calls. We've got Ashley McNear here, and I mean, she's amazing. She's like the poster child for our product. But when you hear her, but anyways, our mission is to educate and help people to feel better, live better, and build a better future using our natural energy tools and wellness solutions. So it's not just like you have a product that you stick on your body and a miracle happens. It's where to put it, how to put it, what other products to put with it, that type of thing. And that's what you learn with our company. So if you truly want to help people, you're at the right place. If you want to just play a pay plan thing, you're probably not at the right place, because you have to care about your customers and the people that you bring into the business. So the next question is, why is this even important? Because a lot of people don't realize that, and each one of us sitting here today, including me, we're sitting in pollution, invisible pollution. Like, you can't see it, but there are electromagnetic waves all around you and going through you. Just think about it. you send a photograph from your cell phone to somebody on a text message. How did that get across the world? Where did it go? Who did it go through? Did it go through your body? I bet you it did. And so all those electromagnetic waves, they affect you. And we call that electrical pollution. So you got Wi-Fi, cellular, electrical devices. If you have an alarm clock by your head at night or your cell phone sitting next to you at night, you're going to find that, well, you won't find anything. You won't feel it maybe, but it'll affect you. It'll affect your heart. It'll affect your body. It'll affect your mind. It'll keep you awake. Just looking at your cell phone with the blue light that comes out of your cell phone or iPad or TV, that keeps you up. That affects your sleep. And so we have to have some way of learning not to do those things and also how to correct them. So, everybody's familiar with Nikola Tesla, of course. And he says, and it's so true, if you want to know the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. And he definitely worked with lots of frequencies. And I can tell you some things I learned about him. And if anybody's on here, if you don't mind, go ahead and mute your microphone so you don't get background noise. But why do we use acupressure? Acupressure has been around for thousands and thousands of years, and then it became acupuncture and all that type of thing. But Chinese medicine has been around, and you can think of your acupressure points as USB ports, like on a computer. You go to your computer and you want to upload a program, you have to, maybe stick something into the USB port and download it. Of course, it's getting a little more modern today. You don't have to do that, but that's sort of what the acupressure points are. They are places on your body that communicate with the meridians and the different energy paths through your body. And then what our product is, a product is a messenger. And each one of our products, which I'll tell you about in a minute, they send a message that is picked up by your body through the acupressure point and delivers the message. That's how it works. And then, so we sat down one day and said, you know what? Sat actually down a long time ago, John and I did, came up with the idea of what if you had your own do-it-yourself acupressure kit? So that's what we sell. We don't sell holograms. I mean, they're part of it. We sell a do-it-yourself acupressure kit so that people understand it's something that they do themselves. And, when you go, and we have tons of acupressurists that use our product. We have chiropractors use our product. We have all types of people that are familiar with healing that use our products. You go to an acupressure or acupuncturist, you might be there for an hour and pay them whatever, $150, $100, whatever. But when you leave, your session is over. And what's nice about our product is that when you place it on your acupressure point, it remains there. And so it's sort of like having a constant treatment. You're going to learn how your body works. You're going to learn how to rebalance your energy. We have a technology to help you do that. And we do all that with non-invasive tools. None of our products have any type of medication or herbs or anything that absorbed into your skin. We're totally based on frequency. And we have 8 products here that are of the holographic type of products. And each one of these products come with instructions inside of the pamphlet that shows you basic points of where you'd want to place these products on your body to get the effect that you want. So, and each one of these also have different energies in them. And what I do is I take the energy of different herbs and along with special frequencies. And I have a 7-step process that I go through to create the products. So for instance, the energy product has special herbal frequencies in it from real herbs, not just some computer lookup of a frequency or anything. We actually use the actual, herbs from God. And those energies are impregnated into, or I call it quantum infused into the product. So, and each one of these packs, with exclusion of the EMF gram, so 7 of the packs, they all have 36 of these products inside of them. So it's basically a month's supply. For some people, it's a 3-month supply. You'll find that you can use one of these products for whatever your situation is and find out that, hey, my situation went away. I don't need it again. So you'll find out that especially the relief solves a lot of people. But we have energy. We have one for sleep. We have one for relief. And we have one for, believe it or not, if you want to quit smoking, and it actually works. You know, you can, how in the world can a sticker, a holographic sticker, make me quit smoking? Well, I challenge you to try it out if you're a smoker. And we have one for intelligence, pleasure. Pleasure is more or less a hormone type product. You know, some of our biggest sellers for that are women, and it's mainly because of menopause and that type of thing. It has solves a lot of those issues, so that, you know, they have happier lives. And weight loss, we have one called Fit, and Fit, it actually, you know, people think I put a sticker on and lose weight. Well, what it does is it has energies in there and herbal frequencies in there to curb your appetite and at the same time give you a little more energy. So you do have to get off the couch and you have to eat less. You can't just put the sticker on and wake up in the morning and be a little bit lighter. It doesn't work that way. Then last but not least, we have what we call an EMF gram. And everybody has a cell phone today. You hold it to your head, you fry your brain, you have it in your biofield, you put it in your back pocket, you put it in your purse, you put, you know, people put their phones everywhere. They have it with them. It's almost a necessity of life in this modern age. But one of the problems is, okay, what is that phone doing to you? You know, you've heard about people with all kinds of problems in their brain and stuff like that. And then there are companies out there, which I don't agree with, that they represent that, hey, ours will make the frequency turn around and go the other direction, so it won't hurt you, you know, stuff like that. We don't do anything to the frequency. Matter of fact, if you could change the frequency to make it safe, the cell phone company would have done that a long time ago. But what the challenge is, how do you make it to where that frequency does not affect you the way that that it could be, you know? So the MF gram is sort of a way of helping to protect your body, and you can prove it by doing muscle testing, you know, with and without the EMF gram.
Come out of there.
So, Brian, can you mute people?
Already did.
Okay, thank you. So the EMF gram is really a great product. I actually put it on everything. I put it on my you know, channel changers from a TV, anything that's electrical that I might touch, I have the EMF gram on. So this moves on to the next product, which is our quantum energy card. And now the quantum energy card, oh my God, everybody seems to really love that card. And what's so neat about it is that it lasts forever. I mean, so far, I've had them in my pocket for 2 years. So it's not like they wear out. And you can always test them. They're real easy to muscle test. But I use this card. It restructures your water. And when it restructures your water, the easiest way to demonstrate that is to take a lemon, cut it in half, and put each half about 3 feet apart, face up. Then put one half on the card, just for like a second. You don't have to let it sit there and cook or anything. Just 1 second. And then just taste the top of that lemon. Just a light taste. Don't take a big bite. Just take a light taste. And you'll think, wow, this lemon's not very sour. And then try the other half that you didn't have the card sitting on. And all of a sudden you're going to say, wow, that's really sour. You know, how is 2 halves of the same lemon different? So that's how that works. This changes the taste of your food. I know Barry's on here, and he loves his coffee. He loves his coffee with the card, and also even with the relief. We have people with in Europe that have MS that have changed their lives, by using these products. We put it in our water container that we keep in the refrigerator, our pitcher of water, so that water's restructured as soon as we dump it in our glass. And if you don't have the card, you can do the same thing with our products. You could put the relief hologram on the side of your glass or the bottom of your glass, and it will energize or restructure that water. But it's truly amazing how this card works. My DHL guy said he can walk up steps now without his knees hurting so bad. So it's something you got to play with and try to notice it. Now there's something with all of our products. I just say this, there's some people, you might go to dinner with somebody and maybe you don't need to put much salt on your food and it's salty enough for you. And the guy next to you has to just put tons and tons of salt on there so he can taste the salt. So energy is the same way. Energy is just like that. Some people, I've had people that they can feel the vibration of the product, when they hold it and they go, wow, and some people, can't feel it. So it takes, noticing the energetic, effect of the product sometimes for some people. Anyways, what I'd like to do right now is stop and I'll introduce you. So some of the people here we have on the line. And
Debbie's waving. Okay, Debbie, you're on.
I'll go first.
Thank you,
I
dear.
don't know where to start though, because I've had so many successes, but I would have to say my favorite one are my kidneys, because now I don't have any frequency, urgency. Oh, you don't have to put me up there. No swelling of my feet. That's probably the best one. My blood pressure's come down. I like that one the best. Aches and pains are gone. I had a lump on my neck that's gone, has never come back. So, I get a headache. Yeah, my grandson gets a cough and I stick one on his back on bladder 13, I think we decided it was last time. And cough stopped and he slept all night, things like that. Yeah.
Do you mind
That's
telling your
it.
credentials, Debbie? Because I know you're wonderful. Tell us
I'm
about your background.
retired.
Yes.
I'm retired.
From? You're bad. You're bad.
Registered nurse, acupuncturist, doctor of natural medicine, entrepreneur.
Just having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Playing with my grandchildren.
All right. Thank you. Great to see you again. All right, Brian.
Let's see. Do I have any volunteers or? Oh, Ashley.
I can go for you if you want.
Oh, you want to go? Well, Ashley was first. Sorry, Barry. Ashley, have to unmute yourself.
I'll just do two quick ones that happened recently. The first one was the fact that I had a bone spur. I had 2 discs, C2 and 3 discs in my neck that were fused together with a bone spur on that was pressing against my esophagus and my vocal cords. And I wasn't able to say more than a couple of words without choking, or I couldn't. It took me 2 hours to eat my food. I couldn't. It was horrible. I put the relief QuantaGrams on first, and it did help a lot with the pain, with the discs in my neck and everything. But then the end of January, or the middle of January, I put an EMF gram on the back of on the C2 and C3 discs. And I started immediately to feel the energy come through to my throat. And within about a week, I started to notice the difference. I could swallow, I could talk and say more than a couple of words, and began to eat. And after the beginning of March, I had tests done at the hospital, swallowing tests. It was actually the middle of March. Anyway, when they did these swallowing tests, I was given food and different things to eat, and they had me hooked up to the machines that would show the glowing of the dye and everything that was in my food. And at the end of the exam, the technician told me that they were unable to find any obstruction. And that is a miracle for me, because the obstruction was clearly outlined in a bone scan that I had in January that showed the discs were fused together. Not only that, my discs are no longer fused together. I don't have to wear the EMF gram. I wore it for 3 months. It dissolved the connection between the spurs. I also just had the doctor call me today because there is an appointment scheduled for surgeon for my carpal tunnel that I've had for over a year and a half, that I've been waiting for surgery, but I've only got one on here now, but I wore these babies faithfully for I would say almost a year, and I wasn't able to hold a pen in my hand. I had horrible neuropathy and pain shooting down my arms from my shoulders down into my hands and my fingers. I have Raynaud's, and I couldn't the whole palm of my hand would be like a fire. I couldn't pick anything up or hold anything. Sometimes I couldn't feed myself, hold my fork or hold my food. I couldn't play pool. I put these on, and I've been using the energy card and everything in my neck. The pain at night has stopped shooting down my arms and my legs. I'm able to write and hold things and write for several minutes. I'm able to play pool and not cry when I bend over the table or have to pick up the rake. And I was able, the doctor canceled my surgery appointment today because I don't need it. And I also have cortisone injections on hold with the lab for a year that I don't need to take either. That's just 2 things, and I could go on a lot longer, but I'll stop now. Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Ashley. That's wonderful.
That's
Wow.
great.
Barry, you want to jump in, buddy? Unmute yourself.
Gotcha,
There you
boss.
go.
I'm going to talk about, well, just 2 things as well. I'll be as quick as I can. The first one is I think the most underrated of all, or underused of all of Ray's products, is the intelligence. I tell you, I have ADHD. It's in spades. Like I'm pathetic. Anyway, I'll put the Bernice, you're laughing, but you're right. It is funny. Seriously. I'll put them right in my chest plate, and I'll put a intelligence, and then I'll put a relief right below it. I'll put them both on, and oh my, the clarity, everything just way better inside the brain. And I'm a sales manager at a Harley dealership, so I'm working numbers, and I gotta be eloquent, and it's almost impossible to do. And I tried it, and I spent a week without them on my chest, and then I put them on, and I noticed, and my staff noticed, a huge difference in my presentations, everything. It just changes everything. And if anybody has stress, anxiety, or brain fog, crazy good. Like I said, I've tried both intelligence and relief, and intelligence and energy, and they both work. So if I'm working outside, because I do that a lot, I use the energy one with the intelligence. And then if I'm working at work, trying to do more brain stuff, sitting down, I'll use the relief. But it's remarkable. It really is. And if you haven't tried it, get some intelligence and try it, because you're going to notice. It's impossible not to notice. The second one, I know I always go to my wrist because it's arthritis and carpal tunnel, inoperable. I'm a Harley guy. I've been riding motorcycles for 54 years now. I'm a carpenter. I build fences, decks, drywall. Yeah. I had to stop all of that until one fateful day Brian took me to have coffee before I even knew about this product, and he put one on my wrist. as when we first sat down, and within 15 minutes, I go, what the hell is this? And that's what started this journey for me. And it still works. It works beautifully. And I've taken, I mean, these QuantaGrams when they fell off of me. I'll go into a quick third one. When they would fall off of me, I didn't throw them out. I saved them. I put them in my plants. Oh, shit. My plants were kicking butt now. And the wife's like, oh, what's going on? I said, hey, you know, little column A, little column B, whatever. It's working, right? And then then I had so many of my plants. I'm like, well, this is getting stupid. So my dog, he twisted his knee, his back knee. And when he stood up to drink water, his hind leg would shake, and it would just shake like this. Like it'd vibrate. And I thought, well, shit, Joe, let's take this thing. So I took it, his collar off, and I put like, I don't know, 10 reliefs around there, and I duct taped them on, put his collar back around his throat. Instantly, the vibration stopped. And I'm like, Jody, non-believer, okay, well, she's really hard to convince. And when she saw Brody stop shaking, she's like, what the hell, man? And I'm like, girl, I don't know. And well, with the we were talking about the pleasure. Jody been going through the time of life, and yeah, it got rid of her hot flashes. Her menopause is so much better now. She used pleasure along with fitness, actually, in a couple of spots on her body, and the hot flashes were gone because you could literally feel her heat. Like I could hold my hand up to her butt, like from 3 feet away, and feel the heat coming off of her. And yeah, she just sleeps so much better now. And it's over. Like, you know, her hot flashes are pretty much gone now at night. So they certainly made her life much, much more enjoyable for the last couple of years. And that's it. I'm sorry. I'm done.
All right.
Thank you, Barry. That's excellent.
Thank you.
Denise, you want to go next here?
Yeah. So for me, I've got two really cool stories. So the first one is my dog. So he's 12 years old now. He's a miniature poodle. He's had skin issues since the time he was like 4 or 5 years old. He has allergies, and over the last year, he had started developing these bald spots because he was just scratching and licking himself raw. And nothing we were doing was helping. The vets wanted to do injections, and that came with so many side effects. And at his age, it was scary. So we came across Quantum Lifestyle for myself. And one day, Debbie actually was over at my house. Debbie and Bernice, they were both here. And he was having those skin issues. So we put a relief on his collar and on the underside of his sweater where the worst bald spot was. And I kid you not, within about 2 days, he stopped scratching. Within a week, his fur started growing back. And since then, those problems have not occurred again. We tend to change the stickers out, I would say, every 2 to 3 weeks. Sometimes we'll notice him kind of scratching a little bit again. We freshened up the stickers, and again, it's fine. That's one thing for my dog. The second thing is that is almost 2 years ago now. He hurt his back paw really badly. He has an issue with his back knees, and he dislocated his back knee, and we thought we were going to have to either have very expensive surgery to repair it or possibly just have it amputated because the recovery time for the surgery was so much longer than just to have it amputated. But at the same time that he was being treated for the skin issues with the QuantaGrams, we also ended up getting him a QuantaPet a few months after that. And he's like a puppy. He's 12 years old now, and he's jumping again. And he has so much energy, like it's absolutely ridiculous. And I don't think that would have happened without the QuantaPet and the QuantaGrams. So that's my first kind of story. The next one is a friend of mine actually was diagnosed with Parkinson's about a year ago, and it attacked his vocal cords. And I came across him about a month ago, didn't realize that this was going on. So when I told him about the QuantaGrams, he gave it a shot. So we ended up putting relief on either side of his glands, I guess, and one right above his Adam's apple. And within 2 days, his voice was back, like almost completely back. He could not believe the difference it had made in just 2 days. So, because this was on a Saturday, Monday morning, he messages me at 8:20 in the morning, said, "Are you awake yet? Call me." So I'm on the phone with him, and I could not believe it was the same person because that's how much his voice had changed.
Wow.
So they signed up.
Wow, that's amazing. Thanks, Denise. Leonard, you have your hand up, buddy? Unmute. There you go.
There we go. So, yeah, I guess I'll share a little bit. Quickly, I guess one of the most profound things was I had nose polyps diagnosed by specialists, and they wanted to operate. I couldn't breathe for like 20 years, like it was completely blocked. And I put the relief on both sides of my sinuses, and the first night, I think after about, I don't know, 5-10 minutes, it opened up, and then I kept putting them on for like 2 or 3 weeks, and it would come and go and come and go, and then after about 3 weeks, it was just totally cleared up, and I've had no blockages since. That was like, I don't know, a year and a half ago, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's like life changing. I don't know if anybody's had issues not being able to breathe, but it's like a total nightmare, especially trying to sleep. And because I'd have to breathe through my nose, I mean through my mouth when that was all blocked, and that led to asthma, sleep apnea, all that crap. Not being able to sleep, you'd sleep maybe an hour or two and wake up because you're all congested and coughing and having to clear your lungs. Anyway, but I no longer have any of that. I'm able to sleep. I'm not congested anymore. Now, about 3 weeks ago? Well, this is when I was finishing up with the year-long transfer of information for the property management company I used to work for. Anyway, I finally finished that up about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it's been like a real shift in my life financially, and making a lot of changes and decisions and everything. So my health took a little bit of an adjustment a couple of weeks ago, and when the humidity hit, the heat wave hit here, I started my asthma flared up a teeny bit. So I got Danica to put the relief QuantaGrams on my lungs. She put like 4 of them on, and that cleared up a day or two later. It's pretty much gone now. The funny thing is, what I thought was, we thought you put on 4 relief QuantaGrams, but she actually put on 3 relief QuantaGrams and 1 fit, and I I've lost like about 6 pounds in a week, just put 1 fit gram.
And it's not on the right spot
it's
either.
not on the right spot that it's suggested. But I was just blown away, and it kind of accidentally happened. So I thought I'd share that. So
I
it's
didn't know this.
kind of cool. No, she didn't know this, but I thought it was, anyway, it's
Oh,
cool.
that's hilarious. That's
It
excellent,
is.
man.
It is hilarious. Yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway, I'll stop there. But there's
Oh, thanks.
many more things. My knees had knee pain for like a long, long time, and that's gone. Anyway, I think Danica wants to say something.
No,
No? Okay, no.
No, okay.
unless you want me to.
No, of course. Always, Danica. Yes, absolutely.
All right, I'm just gonna quickly share. So I was depressed after that little thing called COVID. I lost a bunch of people, not even to COVID, and my job, so on and so forth. And so I was using an alternative medicine called methylene blue, and it worked well. But if I stopped taking it, which I had a tendency to do, not on purpose, uh, the symptoms would come back really quick. So while I was waiting for my QuantaGrams to arrive and my card to arrive, I ended up missing 3 days, and I didn't want to go to work, and I had high anxiety. Anyway, so I quickly took my methylene blue. So a couple weeks later, I get my card. I had no expectations. I just was willing to let it work on whatever needed working on. And I started wearing it every day. And 3 weeks later, I suddenly noticed, I was like, oh my goodness, I haven't taken my methylene blue for 5 days. And I haven't had to take methylene blue in the 2 years I've had my card. So
Wow.
depression's a big thing. And I am so glad that's what the card chose to work on. So that's why.
Oh, thanks, Danica. That's
Thank
excellent.
you.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, Ray, you want to take over?
Alrighty. Well, what I'd like to do right now is we have John here, and since he's been very involved with helping me with this business. John works with people every day, athletes, highly trained people that can notice any little change and that type of thing. So he has a lot of experience with how to fix this and how to fix that, with our product. And that's what he uses is our products. And his athletes do too. And he said some of them won't even play their games or anything without it. But John, if you don't mind, share with us your background and your experience, in life. Not 3 hours worth, but
I was gonna say
but get
that might take about
of your
6 days just to get through my youth. It might take 6 days.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of grew up on the streets. The only thing I had was athleticism, and believe it or not, I got a doctorate and 3 master's degrees in related fields. My doctorate is based on performance nutrition, not medical nutrition. But I didn't even finish high school. I only went to 9th grade. And when I got in the military, I got my GED. And I was 40 years old when I did my first master's, and I was 50 when I finished my doctorate, in related fields, in the sports sciences field. And I'm going to step back a little bit, on these testimonies. I told everybody the other day about I had one of my track kids in training him, and he forgot his inhaler. He's asthmatic, and he forgot his inhaler. And I had a card. I had my card with me all the time. So I had him put my card on. I have it on a chain, and he was having an asthma attack, and it went away almost immediately. And he made a statement that this worked better than his asthma medicine, But where I'm going with this is last night, I had a little 15-year-old basketball player, a girl. She's a big girl. She's like 6 foot tall already at 15. Very good basketball player. Athletic induced or activity induced asthma. So she got a pretty bad asthma attack. So she's loading up on her inhaler, and we were pretty much through our workout, and we were down to our treadmill. And what I do with these anaerobic athletes, we do a lot of sprints, 10-second sprints, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, back to 10, 5, at some pretty high speeds. And we did our first sprint after she was did her inhaler and everything, and I took notice she was really struggling. We were only doing 8 mile an hour, but we do it at 10-degree incline. And I of course had my card with me. I said, let's try something. And she knows Quinn, who experienced the card, with his asthma, before. And I said, put my card on, and then we're going to go to 10 mile an hour, and do our 10-second sprint there. So she put the card on and did the 10-second sprint, looked pretty good. Then we went to 12, then we went to 14, then we went to 16 mile an hour. And then we go from there, we go into an ab workout, and then we go to a lateral workout for our lateral movement on a machine. And she was doing her abs. I said, well, I didn't ask you, but your runs looked really good after that initial first run that you struggled with. She said, I feel like I didn't even work out yet. I said, are you serious? She said, this thing is really cool. They were really excited about it. And And it really worked, and it worked better than our asthma medicine. And normally I won't say anything like that, but that was a really cool thing, that I did back-to-back situations like that, and it not only aided the situation, it excelled in improving the situation better than the medical medicine themselves. But anyway, I've been a multi-world champion in two sports, in professional kickboxing and lifting. You can see some of my trophies in the background. Them are all world championship stuff. And 1 year I was lifter of the year in world championships and stuff like that. But I had over 700 trophies in that, and I've had 3 world championships in professional kickboxing. And then I can't even tell you. I've worked with about 50 Olympians. In fact, you see the Order of Equals Award, the Olympic medal to your left on the screen. I got a number of Order of Equals Award, which is for the #1 independent Olympic trainer in the U.S. And that one there was the reason I have that hung up. That was from Apollo when he became the most decorated winter athlete in the history of the U.S. Still holds that distinction. That wall that you're looking at, where my medal is, that represents over 25 Olympic medals that my guys accomplished. Not only did I have about 50 athletes compete in the Olympics, over 25 of them medaled. That's 50%. It's pretty crazy when you think about it. And the neat thing is, every one of them used the product and believe in the product. And as far as my education, I was a professor then for 42 years. I taught sports sciences, traveled around the world, did CAP courses, guest spoke at all kinds of organizations, and I do motivational speaking as well as just I do stuff. I can't really mention it too much, but I do stuff for some really elite military people. And we talk about certain theater situations, where they're going to be and what's the best way to stay hydrated, what's the best way to keep our energy up and do things like that in that environment. And then other times I'll go in and do real intense training, as far as workouts and things like that. But, I'm not really a sales guy in this. I'm just kind of like involved, and I wrote the book to kind of help people understand how to use the product. I love the product, and I could talk for weeks on the experiences I've had, successful experiences with the product. And the biggest thing about why I'm here is obviously Ray and Brian. These guys aren't only just in this business, they're legitimately quality people that really, really have concern for other people and the quality of life of other people. And that's what I'm about. I'm about helping people, helping my athletes be better. I went through life, and I'm going to try and keep this as short as possible, and thinking that, my way after my childhood to be really something special, become elite, become a world champion, do something really special. And then not only did it in one sport, as you can see on the left is my world championship kickboxing stuff, and on the right is my world championship lifting stuff. And then I became known as one of the best and most decorated trainers in the world, not just locally, but in the world. Just got an award for that, because I've received I'm the only non-athlete, non-head coach in the history of the USOC to get Olympic rings and Olympic jackets, because they're commissioned. You can't buy them. And so getting back to the guys, what I've known Ray it seems like forever, Ray. It seems like we were childhood friends almost. And Brian, I just met you, within a few years, and I'm going to tell you something. These guys are some of the best people in my life. They're legit. They're real. No bull crap, no games. 100% honest and sincere. And when they tell you they're here for you, you better believe they're here for you, because they are. Yeah, if you're going to be successful in this business, I understand you got to go make money in it, and that's got to be a part of it. But ultimately, the real thing is what you do for other people and other people's lives. And You know, I spent my life as a kid being what you would call a low life. You know, no family, no kid. You know, living on the streets half the time, and being looked down upon. And athletics was a way for me to kind of build a path to kind of get feel equal to everybody that always looked down on me. And what happened was, you know, I went along in life. Then I realized that what I did in life personally doesn't matter. Who cares? I don't even care anymore. I'm telling you what I did in life to impress anybody. What it taught me was it wasn't about me. It was what I learned in life that I could help other people. And the real reward and the real benefit in this life is what we do for others and what the legacy we leave behind for that, not what we accomplish. Because what we accomplish, nobody really cares about. You just sound like a braggart, a bullhorn, and all that kind of crap. But when people you don't even remember tell people that they worked with me and I changed their life for the better, and I don't even remember them. You know, it's that throwing that rock in the water and you get that continuous wave that goes out, and each one of them represents somebody that you touched and influenced in a positive way. And that's what this product does for you. One, the more you deal with it and the more you play with it, the more you realize the real satisfaction is not how much money you make, but how you improve people's quality of life because you influence them to give this a shot or try it. And that's what I'm all about. And I'm only here because of the quality of people that lead this organization. And I never talk about that enough. But I mean, I've been through a lot of ups and downs with a lot of stupid people and people that, as I got more famous, tried to use me to make money off of me, you know, and only about themselves. And I mean, I can count the real people I know in life, the honest people and sincere people on one hand. And you're looking at two of them right here. And don't take that for granted. And I'm not going to overtalk. I could tell you stories about my professional athletes, my NFL guys. I've trained over 50 NFL guys. I actually played in the NFL, 50 Olympians, the same amount almost, NBA players, and on, professional basketball and baseball. Well, I said NBA, but you know, it was always about what I could do for them. Sometimes I didn't even get paid. You know, I took a lot of kids off the street and got them into college on scholarships that I never got paid to do it. And I really couldn't afford to do it, but I did it anyway. And I still, the satisfaction to what we accomplished through the use of this product and my background and education was much more rewarding than any dollars I'd ever made and how hard I had to live and how poor I was at certain times, you know. So I'm not going to talk anymore, but I just wanted to give you an idea where I'm coming from and why I'm here. And it's not just the product; it's a combination of the product and the two people behind your leadership that are absolutely amazing people. So that's it.
All right. Thank you, John. I appreciate it. And we'll have some talk afterwards here. I know we're running a little bit late, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to Brian, and Brian can go through the pay plan here real quick, and give you a basic idea of how some of these people are making so much money with our generous pay plan. All righty, so here we go, Brian. Let me go ahead and reshare my screen.
Yep.
I was going to say, you don't want to keep me up as a pay plan. I'm poor. Bad example.
John, you're one of the most richest people I know in anything other than monetary. You're just a quality human being. You talk about us. We're in your shadow, buddy, when it comes to what you do for people. You've been doing this stuff for a lot longer than we have, and it's always a privilege and an honor, hearing you speak because you bring such. Anyway, I can gabble on forever. But anyway, you're a good guy, John. You know, we love you.
Thank you for that.
Once you become an affiliate with Quantum Lifestyle, it's amazing what we offer. We have the most generous, duplicatable marketing plan ever devised by human beings, and we pay you 6 ways. And just to give you an outline, we pay over 76% that we take in back to the affiliates, and that's unheard of. And the 6 ways I'm going to go over relatively quickly because we are running a little bit long and I know people want to have some questions after the fact. So the 6 ways you get paid are retail profit, fast start training bonuses, qualification bonuses, team bonuses, monthly lifestyle bonus, which we call the car bonus now, and your one-time Q-Life bonuses. Now I'm just going to talk about a couple of the front-end bonuses, the retail profits. Everybody kind of understands what retail means. You buy wholesale and you sell it and mark it up, and that's your retail profit. For us, it's done a little bit differently. Your retail profit comes from that, but also comes from the fact that you get your own website. And on your own website, you can have people, you can market your website, people buy directly from your website, and we drop ship the products directly to the customer for you. You don't ever handle the products, and you get paid every week on the retail profits. Go to the next screen, Ray. Yeah, I just explained the retail profits, but we can bypass this one. Now, fast track training bonuses are a bonus that we provide you when you get somebody involved and you help them develop their organization. They're going to need some inventory, so they have the options of buying individual packages that we offer. And if they do that, we pay you not to encourage you to sell it, but also to help you in training them. And that's your fast start training bonuses. In other words, if somebody buys a $439 pack, you make $60. And also it goes down to your second level too. So a person on your second level sponsors somebody on a package, you make $10 in this particular one. So you get the idea, different packages, different amounts of bonuses that you make on it. Next slide, Ray. Now, this is the meat of the marketing plan. This is what really gets me excited. Going left to right, you can see your copper ranks. That's just fancy names for the titles that you attain as you build your organization. We use a hybrid dual leg system. In other words, everybody has 2 legs, much like a binary, but there's a little bit more to it than just a binary. And on your left leg, you have to have one person actively sponsored. And on your right leg, you have to have one person actively sponsored. Now you can start qualifying for your bonuses. And the only way you qualify for bonuses if you are active. And to be active on a monthly basis, you have to have at least 1 pack of QuantaGrams, which gives you 35 BV. Now, when your lesser leg, and we pay you on the volume on your lesser leg, reaches 300 BV, we pay you $200. And we break that down in 4 equal payments of $50 a week after the qualifying period. Okay? So you make $200 in your week leg for the period, and then we pay you $50 a week for the next 4 weeks. And it increases as you go along. Now, I want to just jump to Sapphire. And when you hit Sapphire, you have 2 people actively sponsored on your left leg, 2 people actively sponsored on your right leg. Your personal orders are now $70 a month, which is basically 2 packs of QuantaGrams. And your lesser leg hits $10,000. We pay you $5,000 paid out over the course of the next 4 weeks at $12.50 a week. But now you get your car bonus. Now, if you hit this for 2 consecutive months, we also give you a one-time bonus of $3,000. In other words, it's kind of a thank you for reaching that level, and you hit that for 2 consecutive months, you get that. And as you look down, it increases significantly. And if we go right to the very bottom, you can see the Diamond Elite. Now, our program is designed for the average person. You don't have to be a master recruiter and a big volume guy to qualify for all the bonuses. All you need to have is 10 people sponsored on your left leg, 10 people personally sponsored on your right leg. Your personal volume goes up to 140 per month. When your organization hits $4 million in your lesser leg, we pay you $1 million a month, broken down over the course of the next 4 weeks at $250. Now, the 25% you see in your matching bonus right there, it starts at Emerald. And if you look at Emerald, it's 8%. That one bonus is usually more than any other network marketing paying out totally. Okay. But we increase it to, as you see, 8, 10, 15, 20, and 25%. Then your monthly lifestyle car bonus goes up to $5,000. And if you hit that particular rank for 2 consecutive months, we give you that one-time Q-Life bonus for $500,000. Now, we see this as a very generous marketing plan, but we realize that there's going to be people that hit these numbers in a very, well, I wouldn't say short period of time, but it's going to be very likely that a lot of people on this call will hit that number. We've discussed this, and we'll probably eventually increase that to $2 million as far as the payout goes. So we recognize that we want people to get out there and share the vision and the mission. And we believe that there's going to be people that are going to be hitting those kind of monthly volumes down the road. I went over that relatively quickly, and there's a reason I went over it quickly, because it's not really that complicated once you understand it. So I won't spend much more time on it. I just want you to say or understand that we have the most generous marketing plan in the history of the industry. And what's really nice about our program, in other programs, you can only go so wide and so deep. Our program goes to infinity. So in other words, once you get your ball rolling and your organization grows, especially the timing of the company now, you can go to infinity. You can go to your 1,000th level, your 2,000 levels deep. There is no bottom to your organization. All right. So those are key importance to recognize or remember. I just talked to you how we earn money. Now we're going to tell you how we pay you. Everybody, once you hit, I think it's 29 or 25 bucks on in your organization, you make money. We send you out a Visa card, and this Visa card is recognized all over the world, and that's how we download the payments to your Visa card. So every week, you're going to have money loaded on your Visa card, depending on what kind of level that you attain. Okay? Now, step one, to become an affiliate, you spend your $39.95, and now you're an affiliate. And that entitles to you all the benefits that we all have as affiliates. You have, go back to the main screen, right? Back up one. No, one more. Go forward. Stop. No. Dude, the affiliate page where you sign up. One more forward. There. Stop. Okay. As an affiliate now, you paid your $39.95. You're an affiliate member. You have your own website that you can promote and help people buy from your own website. You have a personal, that's your e-commerce website. You have 1 year access to your own back office, where there you can track everything, look at the volume, we see what's happening in your organization. You also get a free sample pack, which includes 12 energy, 12 sleep, and 12 relief. That's a $59 value right there. You get all that for $39.95. However, if you're serious about building a business and you get people that really want to build a business, go to the next screen, Ray. Then you can also incorporate that to one of the business builder packs. And we have a good selection of different packs depending on how you want to build your business and how you want to have inventory, because you can't really sell goods from an empty basket. So this gives you a little bit of inventory, also to help share the products with other people, hand out stuff. And this is what you're paid on as far as your business builder bonuses. And each package is a different price, and it increases as you go along your commissions on those particular builder packs. Now, I know I went over this pretty quickly, but there was a reason I did that, simply because we spent a lot of time on the products, but training in the marketing plan is not that difficult. And Barry, are you still on here, buddy? No, Barry's gone. The reason I was going to bring Barry, because Barry's a numbers guy, and he went through this marketing plan with a fine-tooth comb, because he's one of those guys that doesn't believe it, but he's in a believer now. Anyway, so the final step is to get with the person that introduced you to this on the call or the Zoom. Sign up, choose your business builder pack. Get out there. There's 3 steps that I train people on that are really fundamental on success in this industry, and that's USS. U stands for use the products. As you use the products, you become a product of the product, because they will enhance the quality of your life. Our products are unique, they're emotional, they're demonstratable, they're consumable, they have mass appeal, and more importantly, they work. Okay? They work, and that's really important. The next step is to share the products. You share with other friends, family, and loved ones, they become products of the products. And then show the plan. In other words, plug them into the opportunity, and that's through a Zoom call or through your upline, or however you want to have the business explained to them. We do the heavy lifting for you. We're here every Thursday, and we're available, pretty well anytime you need us. Okay? So that's our presentation in a nutshell. I want to be the first to welcome you to the Quantum Lifestyle. And if you have any questions, I'll turn it over back to Ray, and we can go from there.
All righty. Thank you, Brian. And let's see, we still have some people here. So if you have any questions you'd like to ask anybody here, feel free to raise your hand and ask the questions. Otherwise, our meeting is over.